As I said earlier, September was a month for swords and daggers. I sketched this dagger long ago, but I didn't have all I needed to make it. Then this July, when I vigorously started preparing drafts for new daggers and swords, I thought it might finally be done. A fully sculptural handle and a suggestive blade. Before that, I used the handle as an area I can express a thought or an idea. I was adjusting the idea to the form, and this time I decided to adjust the form to the idea. Most of female figures that were excavated and found were named Venus, of something. In total, over 200 such figurines are known. They were all modest in size, between about 3 and 40 centimeters. The original cultural meaning and purpose of these artifacts is not known. It has frequently been suggested that they may have served as a ritual or symbolic function. There are widely varying and speculative interpretations of their use or meaning. They have been seen as religious figures, an expression of health and fertility, and similar. A female figurine which has no practical use and is portable and has the common elements of a Venus figurine, a strong accent or exaggeration of female sex-linked traits, and the lack of complete lower limbs, may be considered to be a Venus figurine, even if archaeological evidence suggests it was produced after the main Paleolithic period. Some figurines matching this definition originate from the Neolithic era and into the Bronze Age. The period and location in which a figurine was produced helps guide archaeologists to reach conclusions as to whether the art piece found can be defined as a Venus figurine or not. For example, ceramic figurines from the late Ceramic Neolithic may be accepted as Venus figurines, while stone figurines from the later periods are not. This means that a given female figurine may or may not be classified as a Venus figure. Before I started working on the handle, I made the dagger, and later I sketched the figurine on paper, cut it to have it as a size reference and a model. It ended up being a dagger much different than the others. It has evolved into something more. The hands of this small figurine that was supposed to stand as a guard now resemble wings. She has a crown, long hair, and more. Although the blade itself suggests much older history, it impersonates flint. Figurine is leaning towards the late Paleolithic art. What was different and strange was finding a way to make it look absolutely naive and primitively sculpted, relying mostly on imprinting and knowing when to stop, which was as soon as possible. The wings have accentuated the resemblance to Ishtar, although it is not any sort of Ishtar-themed figurine. Inanna, or Ishtar, is the ancient Mesopotamian goddess of love, war, and fertility. She is also associated with beauty, sex, divine law, and political power. Originally worshipped in Sumer, she was known by the Akkadian Empire, Babylonians, and Assyrians as Ishtar. Her primary title was the Queen of Heaven. A bit more about the process now. After finishing the blade, I protected it with spray for bike chain while it rests and waits for the next steps. Sketched the paper Venus, sculpted the clay handle, allowed it to dry, and fired it above 1000 degrees Celsius. While that was happening, I welded the rod to the bottom of the sword, which is about to go into the Venus through her head. After all that, I inserted some rope dipped in glue, which will catch on to all the little holes, shapes inside the cave, which is actually the hole which goes through the Venus figurine. I cut shallow rabbets into the rod so it can all grip well after glued together. After that, I applied glue to the rod and wrapped it with rope. Dipped all that in glue while my camera ran out of battery. I left it to get dry overnight and it was ready for paint. We've seen some examples of archaeological finds and some of them look quite greasy brownish. I've been making black handles, so I wanted to try something darker than greasy beige, ideally greasy brown. I was layering it watered down ink first. After those brown layers, I was wiping them lightly so it isn't all one color, but to add patina, texture. I also added water to glue so I can control how greasy it will look and how much will be in which area. Exposed areas greasier, others less. I was using steel brush to add a little extra texture, and finally the last layer of watered glue, lock it all together. And that's it.